Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe. Well, I finally received my FOIA request for the DoorDash driver original interview that she did with law enforcement, I think on November 23rd at around 8 in the evening. It's about an hour and a half long, this interview. And I haven't even listened to it myself yet, so I'll be listening to it with you guys on the premiere video. All right, so let's get started on that right now.
So, it's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. On top of a lot, so I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to. Hi, can I say hi to you?
Yeah, he's very friendly. He loves everybody.
Hi, baby. Hi. You're pretty cute, man.
He's 2.5 pounds and 4 years old.
What a big fella, aren't you? Yeah.
So yeah, when he passed away, I got to keep him. And he stayed with me.
So, like Alex was saying, we're going to just take it nice and easy, okay? So we have a map here if you need it, okay? So just let us know what else you need. I'm going to take some notes,
Okay.
but don't think I'm not paying attention to you.
No,
We're just,
I'm not right. Yeah.
my brain doesn't work that great sometimes, so I got to write stuff down or I'll forget it, okay? So I guess the first thing we'll do today is just kind of start, if you wouldn't mind, by, you know, when you got your first order that night and when you delivered your last one. Can you just tell me how
as far as that night went, I think I worked a total of like 18 hours that night. So I mean, but to focus on here, I mean, the 3 calls that I got from there were all relatively around the same time. There was 2 calls to the apartment complex next to it, the brick apartment complex. One was a big order, large. It's a weird name too. He put down a strange name. I can't even remember what it was, but it was. Some people like to play with the names when they make orders, and it was definitely one of those. Somebody screwed around being it.
Of course.
Yeah. They were all Jack in the Box orders too, because at that time nothing's open but Jack in the Box around here. The other one that I did was I think it was. I'm trying to remember, but same thing. That apartment. It was in the center section. By the time I got to that, the one that we're here for, it was my last last call for that night, or for that pretty much evening. In fact, when I got back to Jack in the Box that night, they thought I wasn't coming back and had thrown away the orders. They had to remake my orders so I could deliver them because they didn't think I was coming back. They thought I'd just wait for the night.
Gotcha.
Have you been there at night at that house?
Yes, I have. Yep.
Okay, so you know that the number for the house is right there under the light, and it's very hard to see at night. That was probably my biggest problem, was trying to find the number. I didn't actually realize that I was there, which is why I was probably there for about 15 minutes. And my clock, or my map on my phone that tells me where to go, kept telling me to go up and around. Instead of, I actually initially pulled and parked up right there, right in front, but I didn't see the number, so I didn't know, and my map kept telling me to go up and around and in there. I kind of walked around with my flashlight some on my phone trying to figure out where it was. I remember when I pulled up, I saw the girl in the window that he told you about. Up at that top window on the left. I would swear that she was swinging on a hammock or something, but she could have just been on the top of the bed or something. It seemed odd because she was watching me. And usually when you do an order and somebody sees you, if that's where it's from, they see you, they come running down to the door, whether it's a no contact order or not. And she jumped right down as soon as she saw me and saw that I saw her. I noticed several times as I was walking around and trying to find the place, she would pop back up in the window and I would see her again.
Okay. Give me 1 second. This is a story.
First or second, please.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
your support.
Thank you.
Those are pretty good. I don't know if you've had them. They're pretty good.
I haven't. There you go. So I thought it was weird that she kept jumping in and out of the window. Long brown hair, younger girl. Definitely, you know, there were parties going on all around, lots of noise. I mean, they were everywhere. At one point, I remember I got in my car and I actually drove up here to see, because I thought maybe there was a road. That's why my map kept trying to tell me to go up there. And I parked up there because it didn't go any further. And I stopped. And I parked and I got out and I was walking around with my flashlight. And I was looking through the bushes and I could see the inside courtyard. And all the lights and everything was open. And that's where the map was trying to get me to go, but I didn't feel comfortable going in there because there was no path. It just seemed odd to have you walk in that way. It seemed like a back door. There was no apartment numbers on the order or anything. It was just the house number. There were no directions or any kind of clue to tell me to go that way.
Right.
But I do remember that when I was walking with my flashlight on that road, you know, there's nobody out there and it's dark. And I'm a girl and I've got a flashlight. A car came driving by. It was a sedan. It was tan. And the gentleman that was driving, I remember it because it was odd that he did not look at me. You know, you see a girl out there walking around with a flashlight, you look, you see what's going on, and if they're nothing, just completely zoned and out of it, almost. And that's why I thought it was odd, but he just drove by me. There was no stopping or anything. And I eventually walked back up to my car, got my car, drove down, and I was like, this has got to be the house, the way the numbers are going. And so I pulled into the drive in there, and that's when I noticed that the light had been blocking the numbers. And so I jumped out of the car and I put the bag by the door because, I mean, I guess it is apartments now, it's coming out, but there was nothing to tell me that that was apartments and it needed to be directed at a certain place, so I just left it at the door and snapped a picture, and then I left. And I mean, I was there probably, I'd say 15 minutes. It was a while of me walking around trying to find it because I remember being stressed out because of time. Because DoorDash began.
Was there some sort of time limit or something?
You get paid by your delivery, so you only get so much per delivery. They are doing a trial right now where they're actually paying me by the hour because I have really high stars, except for my time is really bad because I always get orders that nobody else wants to do or they've been rejected, and so my time, my stars are like way down there. So I've been actually doing better with the by the hour wage. But still 15 minutes to be looking for one address is a little ridiculous, and so many parties and so many people, and I felt uncomfortable. Then I remember seeing, it's an odd thing, but like underwear and stuff in the street, and I was like, what the heck, this is so weird. Yeah. Then it had been my third time there that night. Okay. And the girl popping in and out of the window was strange, but never coming down.
Okay, so once you left at the door, then what?
I just got in my car and I left, and I went through campus, and I hit the light as you're coming to Winco, and I got another order to email my phone, so I went back to Pullman to check in the box, and I went there, and he had thrown away my order, so he remade my order, and I got sent to a dorm in Pullman. It was my last delivery to Moscow, actually. Okay. So it was those three ones. They were just like bang, bang, bang. That little bit of time. I was there so many times, just back and forth. It was double orders, 2 every time. Yeah. Okay. One of them I actually delivered to an apartment, and this one here. And so.
Yeah, there's lots of, that is quite the party spot down there. Especially those buildings right there. Those are super.
Yeah, I was really surprised how much was going on down there. Because there seemed like there was parties here, down here. They were just everywhere. There was so much noise and so much music, and it was so loud.
Yeah. All football games, I think, probably help with that.
Yeah, it usually does.
So I'm just going to kind of go back to something here real quick. First of all, you said you work about 18 hours. Is that
Yeah.
normal for you?
When I get going like that,
Mhm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
will.
Okay.
I'll clock in and clock out. And DoorDash is pretty, I think the reason I like it, I just started doing it recently because I have a hard time with my history.
Mhm.
I can clock in and clock out as I want. I don't have to schedule. I don't have to keep to things. I can, if something comes up, I'm not going to lose my job because I don't make my shift.
Yeah.
And so when I get going and things are going good for the night, I'll just keep going.
Yeah. No, I'm just kind of familiar with how it works, but and I'm just anything else. So, do you make like on a good night, like on this night, do you make what, a couple $100, something like that?
It depends because of gas. Because you have to pay for your gas.
Of course.
And then you're eating too and munching. And so,
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, it was a good night and I made good money that night. I could probably look it up and tell you how much I made that
I'm
night
not worried about
altogether.
that.
But when you're talking about gas in my car, my tires were not so great. And I was having issues with my tires. And I guess my front alignment was out. So my Subaru that normally gets 25, 26 miles to a gallon is actually down to 17. So I did not make as much as I usually do,
Gotcha.
which is probably why I was pushing it even longer because, I was trying to make bill money.
I gotcha. Okay.
So
how long, you said you just started, how long have you been?
I actually hired on with them probably about a year ago,
Okay.
but I actually didn't start dashing. It took me a really long time. Probably 6 months ago before I actually signed on and started doing
Started actually
it.
doing it.
Yeah, and actually when I came on to do this, I'd actually just taken about a month and a half on and not dashed for a little bit.
Okay.
My boyfriend, Jimmy, he wanted me to take some time off. I also take care of my special needs brother. I've been taking care of him for about 18 years now. He's mild retardation. And my eldest son, I mean, he recently left and it was not on good terms. He kind of left in the middle of the night, and so that's been a battle. And then his dad moved in, and then he passed away in my bathroom. And then my daughter actually, she was 15 at the time. She got really close with one of his friends in there, taking me to court and deeming me unfit and saying a lot of stuff about me, and I haven't seen her about 2 years now. So it's been a lot on me.
Absolutely.
And I've also been taking care of my husband's best friend, who was causing a lot of problems for me, and I was losing my home, and he actually just, I stayed at my boyfriend's house, and he actually sold stuff in my house, and now I have somebody squatting in my house that I'm not even happy with there, and they've destroyed my house, and I have to go get them out and fix it. And so it's a lot of stuff, and he wanted me to just, he's like, you've been through enough, you've had too much going on, you need to just,
Absolutely.
he's like, I work good, I can make the bills, just stay home and rest.
Yeah.
So I actually just had been working for the last, I think, week or two, not much, coming back on from that.
And that's a wise choice. I mean, it's just from talking to you, you've been through more than most people should ever have to, for sure. It sounds like you go kind of above and beyond to take care of other people too, which is...
I try to.
Yeah.
I don't want people to have to go through stuff that I've gone through.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Make things easier for them.
Yeah. So, kind of going back to when you delivered, can you kind of, I was kind of watching you, but can you kind of just show me your path as best you remember?
I pulled up right here, right by the dumpster there. That's where I initially parked.
Gotcha.
And sitting there looking around and trying to find things. I remember I got out and I walked part way up and looked up here, up this pathway, the road there. And my map telling me to go up there.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to end up walking half a mile from my car because my map tells me to. So I didn't want to do that. I was tired. So I ended up turning around, coming back, getting in my car, and driving up there. And realized that the road didn't go any further. Thinking maybe it went around or something to get there. But my map just kept telling me to go in like right into the middle center courtyard.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just weird. And then walking back down, with my flashlight, which is when I saw the car, and still seen again. There was no pathway. I was just double checking to make sure that I wasn't getting something wrong.
So I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yes,
But when you're back here looking around, can you kind of describe to me just what it looks like at that back patio?
It's so
area?
dark, and in between the trees, you could just see like lights and like things were open. I want to say that it was like warm and inviting. It looked nice. It looked, you know, you could go back there, but I did not see a pathway that made it so it was okay for me to walk in the back of somebody's yard.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
I didn't.
Okay. Perfect. So then you said you started walking back down, right?
Walking back down, and then I realized that, I didn't miss something. I did not see a path. I was checking again. And so I drove back down again, because I walked back up to get my car. And I drove back down, and I ended up pulling up into the drive thinking maybe I could go around that way. And I actually parked my car right kitty corner here because I saw the light finally. I could tell that the light was hiding the numbers on the house. And that's when I realized that that was the correct house, and my map wasn't off. And that would be when I jumped out, and I put the bag right there by the door and took the picture. And then I left because it was a no-contact delivery.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yes, which means that I just take a picture, I send it, and I go. I don't wait for anybody, I don't look for anybody.
So,
which I think is crazy.
So when you're back up here, I'm just kind of walking, make sure I fully understand.
Yes.
So you're walking back to your car here, and this is when you see the car that you mentioned?
When I saw the car after I had already parked up here, and I was walking down.
Walking down,
Yeah.
okay.
And he was driving down. We were right around here. And he went.
Okay. So you come around, so then you go and drop everything off. Did you see the car again after that? Did you?
It did not.
Did not?
It left.
Okay.
It just, the only reason, like I said, I remembered it was because it was odd that he didn't look at me or wonder what the heck I was doing.
Yeah.
And he was very just,
Looking straight ahead.
Yeah, and there was nothing. And so that seemed odd to me.
Okay.
Especially to be a girl in the dark. There's not a lot of light on that road at all.
No, it's dark. Yeah.
And to be walking around with a flashlight and looking around and poking around somebody's yard, you would think most people stop and they're like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?"
Especially early morning.
Exactly. It just seemed odd to me.
So when and I've been up there quite a bit, but the road's fairly narrow.
Yes.
Were you pretty close to this car? Or were
Yes,
you,
it drove right by me.
how close do you think it was?
Not very far. I'm walking on the road. I didn't walk in the grass or anything.
Yeah.
And so there's not a lot of space, as you said. And
Yeah.
then there's cars parked
Right.
around there too.
Right.
So, he was right there.
Okay. Did you notice anything about the car? Any sound or anything out of the ordinary?
No, and I've been racking my brain too. Cause
No,
it seemed so odd for him to be there. He didn't seem out of place. He actually seemed very in place. Just his demeanor and everything, he just did not look at all, not even to turn his head.
When you say you look like he in place, what do you mean by that?
He didn't look disheveled or like at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get ready for work and you're half asleep or something like that, or running or late, or he seemed like very put together and just, yeah.
Could you describe that person for me?
I would say blonde hair. He was male. I would say it's hard because he's sitting down, so but blonde. I would say maybe a light because of maybe a beard, kind of like you're short.
Okay.
I keep trying to rack my brain if there was glasses or not, and I can't remember if he had glasses on or not.
Was he white?
White, yes.
White?
Yes, sorry, he was white.
Okay.
And blonde, very light blonde. Not the dark blonde where it could almost be brown, but very light blonde. Short hair, clean cut.
Did you notice anything about clothes or anything like that?
Light clothes, but not anything that would stand out. I would almost say he had the light on in the car, now that I think about it, because to see him that well on that street, he would have to have the light on in the car, the dome light.
Yeah.
Because I saw him very clearly, which seems odd for him to have the dome light on. Because I didn't flash the flashlight on him or anything, I turned around and I looked, because the car, I didn't want to get hit by a car.
Yeah.
And I assumed he would look at me and wonder what I was doing, like most people do.
Yeah. So when you're out and about, and I know you told me you've been up there twice before that night, is it common to see cars driving through there? I mean, did you see traffic when you were up there earlier? Do you see people about kind of, can you just describe sort of the general vibe of the place?
Anybody really, both deliveries, I had to drive up and I came up and around and in the middle. They were both in the middle. The first delivery, actually, I drove up in the middle and it was a and that was the huge order because he was texting me the entire way. Yeah. ETA. I'm trying to drive, dude. I'll give you my ETA when I get there. Yeah, I'm trying to get there. I'm coming all the way from Pullman. And people they're very impatient sometimes.
Oh, of course, yes.
I can't remember anybody really walking around. He actually ended up coming out and walking to me because the order was huge. The other order, I actually parked down here this time, and I parked down closer to the corner because I wasn't sure where the apartment number was, and I ended up walking all the way around to try to find the apartment. And ended up having to go upstairs, downstairs, all over the place, honestly, to find it. And it was in the center towards the end here, but it was upstairs. And I saw two people, it was a couple, they walked up that way, and they were coming into an apartment when I was dropping off the order. They were college kids. They were just coming home, nothing. They were loud, they were having a good time. And just had come home from the evening with that. Lots of partying here and noise and everything all around. It was really hard to tell, but as far as around here, it's so dark.
Oh, it is dark.
It's so dark. And I don't like those apartments. It's the first time I've ever delivered to those apartments this night, but my ex-boyfriend had told me that those were not good apartments in the past when we were younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said that they actually considered those the White Harlem of Roscoe. You know, they call the white apartments down by Lena Whitmore White Harlem, but these are the real White Harlem apartments.
Gotcha.
And so when I pulled up to them, I was like, really, this is where I am? Because I've lived here my whole life, but still, I'll end up in a few places in Moscow where I'm like, what the heck, where am I?
Yeah.
So
do you think perhaps you're, I just asked this just to clarify, but do you think maybe the fact that this gentleman in the car was, seemed out of place, could it have been the environment that was like kind of a weird, darker environment, or what struck you about?
Just the fact that he didn't pay attention to me at all.
Yeah.
And that seemed just odd.
So it wasn't the fact that it was, because you're probably used to being, are you used to being out in the dark by yourself?
I am a lot. That's actually why I have, I told my boyfriend when we first started getting together, I was like, I want to make it so you can follow my GPS on my phone. And he felt really uncomfortable, and it took me weeks to get him talked into it. And I was like, look, with my history, with everything, I know DoorDash knows where I am, I know they track me, but I think it would be smart if you could track me on your phone, just because, and a lot of times he's on the phone with me, and he's talking to me, especially if I'm somewhere where I feel extremely uncomfortable, I'll call him, and I'll have him on the phone, and have him on speakerphone. The customers don't even have a clue about it, but I'll have him on there, and he's got me earpieces and stuff, so I could keep him. That way, just to make me feel a little bit safer, because I tend to not feel so safe.
Did you call him that night at all? Was there any time you called him?
We actually were fighting that night.
Okay.
He wanted me to bring home groceries and pop and stuff, and he has recently just been having a hard time, and so he wanted to know why I hadn't gotten pop yet, and I hadn't gotten around to it yet. I had been so busy, and the orders, there were so many of them, and so he was not on the phone with me at that one, but he was on the phone with me when I delivered the first one.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha. Okay. Kind of the next thing I was just curious about is, so when you're looking at the building that you eventually deliver the food to, so you have the main story where the door is, where the light is, okay? Where from that front door did you see the girl that kept looking at you?
She was up at the top, the very top left-hand window.
Okay.
And she just kept jumping up and down and up and down.
So the very, very,
very top.
Not the middle one, but the very one that's
the very top.
Okay, top left. Okay, gotcha. And you said when she was jumping up and down, can you kind of describe that to me a little bit?
She had, by jumping up and down, I mean, like, every time she noticed that I saw her, she'd disappear from the window.
Okay.
She'd jump down.
I see.
And then as soon as, like, I would turn back around or I'd come back by the window again, she'd be up there looking at me again. And I thought I was losing my mind because I thought maybe she was in a hammock or something, swinging up there. I don't know if it was in a bed or, you're on campus. You just don't know.
You never do know.
it seemed odd to me because she wasn't coming down for the order. That's what made me think that I had the wrong house as well.
I see. Yeah.
Because most of the time they come, if they see
Yeah.
you, they come down there
They want
to
the
help
food.
you out. Yeah, they want
Right.
their food. And it had already been, I don't know how long since, it was a very busy night. I was running nonstop the entire shift. Every time I had to clock out was to just get a breather and get some gas.
Yeah.
And then clock back on because it was wanting me back on and back running around. I remember Jack in the Box even put a table out for us because they had so many orders they couldn't even keep up with what we were doing. Yeah.
How late do they stay open?
Jack in the Box,
Yeah.
they are supposed to be 24 hours, but they actually close down about 4 or 5 sometimes to reboot their
Gotcha.
system. But they're the only place around here that's open all night.
I was gonna say I don't remember because I rarely go to Pullman, but it's like
That's it.
I know all the places here in Moscow changed their hours a couple years back, and
Everything else closes at midnight. They
Yeah.
say 1 or 2 on their websites and stuff, but they actually don't
they
stay.
get you.
And Taco Bell and Pullman will stay open past midnight, but their dining room is not, only their drive-thru.
Right, just to drive through.
And so they shut down their DoorDash too, but they don't shut down the orders online. So we get orders a lot and get stuck in the drive-thru to get the orders canceled. It really sucks.
Lovely. Yeah, that's
And
fantastic.
so we spend a lot of time fighting with them.
Of course.
I don't like the Taco Bell and Pullman. They make me mad.
Yeah.
I sat there for an hour and 15 minutes before with an order and them telling me that they had the order, they were working on it, checked every 15 minutes, and then an hour and 15 minutes later, like, oh, we never got it. I'm like, I sat here for an hour and 15 minutes to get paid $2.
Yeah, well, especially when it's your thing is turning and burning. That's what makes you your
so
money.
when something like that happens, you only get half the order.
Mhm.
So I got $2 to stand there for an hour and 15 minutes. I was not happy.
Yeah. I wouldn't be happy
They
to.
tried to make me leave before because of him. I was like, really? He's like, you're mascot.
Yeah, seriously,
I'm
he's
like-
about the chillest dog I may have ever met.
I'm like, you can't actually make him leave, but
Yeah.
okay.
That's right.
Yeah. And he's not a service dog. Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
And then they feel like an ass, but they're always slow. Their orders are slow, and people who order from, they don't tend to tip very well, to be honest.
Really?
The college kids from Taco Bell. It's usually like $1, even though you went through hell to get it.
Right, yeah. So the girl, I'm just going to kind of revisit this. The girl in the window, can you kind of describe her? You said she had
She had long brown hair.
long brown hair. Okay.
I want to say after looking at the pictures, I'm sorry, I don't watch the news, so I didn't know. I started looking, I think it was one of the brunette, the sisters.
Okay.
If I had to guess, but I was so far away, I couldn't. The college kids, there are all so many of them, and I see so many faces. I've been trying to rack my brain too about the name that was on the order, and I can't remember the name
Okay.
on the bag, and it's been driving me nuts. I'm sure that there's a record of it through DoorDash. I wish they let us keep some of that stuff, but we don't get to keep the pictures that we take,
Okay.
or the orders, or any record of any of
It
it.
just goes to them. Okay.
It all goes through the app. Occasionally it'll screw up and I'll get a phone call or a text message that'll go through my phone instead of through
Gotcha.
DoorDash app, but I looked and it didn't.
Okay. Did you didn't get any messages from whoever ordered this that night?
No.
Okay, gotcha. Probably would help you find this.
And again, the girl, I thought that's what she was doing, and I thought that's why she kept jumping down out of the window once I saw her, because,
Yeah.
you're running around with a Jack in the Box bag. I mean, it wasn't a big bag either, it was a small order.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Was it just like, was it one bag, two bags?
just one bag.
One bag.
One small bag. I would say maybe a value meal at that.
Okay.
They don't let us open them.
Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
They usually have the order written out on the screen if you look at it to see if they need straws or stuff like that. But honestly, I can't remember anything in particular about the order.
Gotcha.
I was running back and forth so many times. I actually had a friend that was sitting at Jack in the Box parking lot waiting for me for the last 3 times of running back and forth from these orders because he was waiting for me to kick back with him and eat a hamburger
Yeah.
too. And I never got to.
Never made that.
Yeah. He actually left when I was at that order.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, Alex, do you have anything else you'd like to?
Yeah, Molly, that was fantastic. First of all,
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, your memory of just that bit was fantastic. we have a couple techniques that might help you to remember a little bit more, just to kind of maybe ask questions in a little bit of a different way, that might help jog some of that, if you're up for that.
Of course.
That might help. It might do more if you're willing to do that. Before we even go there, I just had a couple other questions that maybe before we dig a little bit, in a different manner. I think you had said that when you saw the man in the car, he didn't look out of place. Was that right? Am I remembering that right?
He looked out of place because he didn't look at me.
Okay.
That's what was out of place.
Okay.
The fact that he did not make any kind of gesture towards the fact that I was there. That's why I remember him.
Okay.
There was nothing that made him look disheveled or out of like running in a hurry or like he was late or.
Okay. It sounds like when you're driving around on campus, there's lots of college and lots of that stuff around. Did he look to fit in kind of with the people that you
older to me,
Okay.
but in those apartments, I didn't know that those were campus apartments either, or if those are what kind of housing they are. So I wasn't sure as far as, but he did look older than like the average college kid. Yes.
Okay. So when you say older, what does that mean to you?
Age is so hard. I would probably say late 20s, 30s, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Probably I would think out of college.
Okay. You said you remember that the car was tan,
Yes,
if I remember?
in a sedan.
Okay, in a sedan. So what does that mean to you, a sedan?
A four-door.
Four doors,
Four-door.
okay.
Like family car with the dome light on.
Okay. Do you recall what the interior of the car looked like?
It was light.
Light colored?
Light interior.
Okay. Anything else that you saw in the car? Was there...
No, I didn't really look. I just saw him and the fact that he didn't look at me, and I was like, okay. And I kept looking for the apartment and the number because I was trying to get the food.
Okay.
It keeps getting cold.
Yeah.
And so you're like, I don't want to get a bad star and a bad mark for delivering cold food.
Okay.
I was trying to make sure it was warm.
That's how you get the stars, right?
Yeah. Actually, I get stars for bringing extra sauces.
Interesting.
I get a
You
lot
gotta
of
have
stars
extra
for that.
sauce. You gotta have it.
I have bags and bags of extra sauce from every restaurant, and
Do
that's
it.
how I get the stars.
Jack in the Box order and you throw in some Arby's sauce while you're at it. So.
I've done that a couple times when Taco Bell's been out of their hot sauce because they have like 8 different hot sauces. So I have huge bags and Ziploc bags and tapes and stickers and all sorts of stuff to like try and get it to hook. And yeah, there's so much stuff in the backseat of my car. It looks so disheveled. It's awful.
It's worth it for the stars.
Yeah.
Do you remember, so obviously the interaction with that tan sedan stood out to you for a reason, but do you remember seeing any other vehicles? Anything else driving? Or
it was so, everything was calming down at that point. There was still a lot of activity up here at these apartments in this house, it seemed like, and down here at the back. You could hear a noise, but around here it seemed like everything was calm and quiet and dark and shut down.
Okay.
For the most part.
You mentioned too, and please forgive me if you brought this on the map, but you talked about 2 people who you saw walking into an apartment?
Yes, that was.
Can you just show Brett, since I'm back here, kind of where they were walking from, where they were walking to?
They just walked up and into the center here where you could get into the center of buildings. I was actually on the second level in here, and they had come up the stairs and walked by and went behind me. So I'm not sure what apartment they went to.
Okay. And some of the reason we're asking all these questions, obviously, is just like you were there around at the same time. What did you see? What did you hear? And we're trying to track down as many witnesses as we can, so that we can ask them the same questions and try and figure out where we're at. So what I'd like to do, if you're amenable, I may swap places with Brett there for a minute, so I'm not yelling from the back of the room. And again, I'm amazed at all the detail that you remember just from...
It was an odd delivery, I know. In fact, I remember getting home and saying it was not delivered to me. And
what made it odd?
It's just the girl in the window, and then the gentleman, and then just the last order of the night. It stood out, and then the map wanted me to go to the center.
Okay.
Or that center courtyard in there, that seemed odd to me.
Okay, and just again, because I was sitting back there, when you say the center
The
courtyard.
center courtyard that's in the, over here,
Okay.
back there, I couldn't really see, there's so many bushes and it's so
Yeah.
dark, but there was definite light glowing through and
Okay.
you could see kind of stuffed animals and stuff and
Okay.
just inviting, but
Yep.
I wasn't going to walk back there. That seemed like, no.
Probably a smart choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is, what I'm going to try and ask you to do is have you kind of think back to being there, to being, let's do from the time that you are coming down to, this is Taylor, so like you're pointing to the neighborhood, okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do is close your eyes, think back, try and put yourself back to that time, to that place, and we're going to talk through what you saw, what you heard, if there was any smells that you recall, and just try and be there and actually see those things, okay? I would like you, to the extent you are able, to give me every detail you can imagine, okay? We're not in a hurry, we're not in a rush, we can do this as long as we're able to.
Okay.
And we hope that the more we're able to go slow and kind of almost be there and look around.
I know the time I was there is an important time.
Just if what other things may come to mind, okay? And I'm gonna do it first. I'm gonna just tell you about getting into my car at home, just to give you an idea of how much detail that I hope we can remember, just to give you a sense of kind of how much. Once you start, I'll do it first, and then I'll ask you to do it. Once you start, I'm not going to interrupt you, okay? I'm not going to ask you any questions at all. I just want you to remember as much as you can. We'll go from the time you pulled on to King Road from Taylor, all through you said it's about 15 minutes, right? So all through that 15 minutes until you're pulling back out, okay? And this may take that whole 15 minutes, okay? And that's fine. It may take longer if you are able to kind of really visualize what you saw while you were there, okay? One of the easiest ways we find to do it is to talk about it as if you're there, right? I see this, I'm hearing this, that kind of thing, okay? We'll do that first, and then we may do this again a couple different ways. Just again, every time we go through it, sometimes new memories will pop up, new things will kind of be jogged by other things, okay? All right, so I'm going to go first, just to give you a sense. I'm going to tell you about getting into my truck at my house, okay? So I'll start from the time I leave my house till the time I get into the truck, okay? So I'm going to take a minute, kind of visualize it, picture it. Okay, so I open the door from the inside. There's a silver handle, but it's one of the handles that has a loop on it, so it goes from the top and then it rounds down to the bottom and it meets the door in two places, and then has like a latch on the top. I usually leave the front unlocked, so the deadbolt is already open, but I can push down on the lever and pull the door towards me. The hinges are on the left, so the door will swing from the right side to the left side. And then I have a storm door. There's a storm door there. It's like black frame, but with a divider in the middle. And the handle for that is also on the right. And that has, again, another, like a latch push down to open that door. And that door swings out. So as I walk through that door, I turn to my right and kind of hold that storm door with my butt or my back, and reach around with my right hand and grab the outside handle of the main door, which is all black, but the handle again is silver like on the inside. I can pull that door closed behind me, and I have a keypad latch, so I have to lock it with a button, but I can I push any button to latch it. But 2 is the button I used. and I have to kind of pull on the door as I'm locking it, or it won't lock. So I pull on the door, and then it gives kind of like a beep to tell me that it's locked appropriately. And then I step back from the storm door, and I let that door just kind of fall, but it never slams closed. It just kind of fades closed. And I'll turn around, have a single step there. I can step down from the front porch onto the sidewalk, and then the sidewalk, I curve around to the left. And there's a car in the driveway there. I don't like to walk in the grass because the grass is always real wet. So I kind of walk into the driveway and like scoot alongside of that car. It's actually a truck. It's a black pickup truck. And it's parked face in so that the coming towards the street. I'm going to walk alongside it, so I guess I'm on the left side of it. And I walk down, it's maybe 5 or 6 more feet after the end of the truck, after the bumper. And across, there's a sidewalk that crosses the driveway, and into the road. No cars are coming, so I just cross the street there, and there's more like parking on the opposite side of the street. There's a grassy area there, and there's parking spots that, not parallel parking, whatever the other one is, just straight in, along right in front of the house, but on the other side of the road. And my car is in the first parking spot. It's a silver Tundra. There's a tonneau cover on the back. And every time when I walk to the front, to the driver's door, there's a golf ball dent over the driver's side rear wheel well that I see every time. I walk past the rear doors to the front doors. I have to click open the door with the key fob. Click that open, and it gives it like a 2 beep. It's like a beep beep for the unlock. And then open the door, and I notice on the grassy area there, there's kids that sometimes play in there. They weren't there when I left, but the soccer ball was there. And one of those orange cones, like they used for the goals, was kind of right in front of the truck. And then I get in the truck. It's gray on the inside with a black dash, black steering wheel, and black dashboard. I have the keys in my right hand, put the keys in the ignition, turn the ignition, because it still has a regular key ignition. And there's a University of Tennessee mask, like a COVID mask, that hangs on the left, like where the blinker is. So the mask there. And on the right, there's the shift is down low. It's right in the console. And I went to put my phone in the cup holder to try and plug it in, because it plugs into the front dash, but I couldn't find the cord, and so I had to kind of dig in between the seat and the console to find that. But I found it, and as soon as I plugged it in, the music from the phone came on. I don't know what song it was, but it was definitely a Luke Bryan song. I and it was like halfway through, because I'm not sure, but it was in the middle. I remember it popped on right in the middle of the song. And then I looked up, when I put the truck in reverse to back out of the parking spot. There's no backup camera, so I looked in the rearview mirror, and there was a couple walking a dog along the sidewalk. It was like maybe a shepherd, like an Australian shepherd of some sort. It was like brown and white, and she had on a blue like parka. She had brown hair, jeans, and he was taller than her. Like a gray hoodie and jeans, and they were walking up the hill. So if I'm in my mirror, they were moving from the passenger side to my side. I saw them in through the mirror. And then I put it in reverse and backed out, and we're there. Okay? Good sense of kind of how much we're talking about. So it'll take some time. Let's close your eyes. I had my eyes closed because it certainly helps you to see it. Okay? Before we get started, any questions about that? Okay. So, again, I'm not going to ask you any questions. Okay, so if you can close your eyes, take a minute, put yourself back there, remember being in this area here as you're approaching into the neighborhood. Close your eyes, take your time, and when you're ready, when you can see yourself there, you can go ahead and start.
Remember driving up the road before the turn and seeing on my phone that I was going back to that area again and being like, holy cow, another delivery here. Turning up King Road, taking the left onto King Road and then taking a right onto Queen, and trying to watch my phone, telling me where to go, watching the map that I keep on the satellite so I can see the buildings, because it's easier to find places on the buildings and the addresses on the satellite mode. And all of a sudden my phone saying you are there, and I pulled over to the right, right there by the garbage, the dumpsters right there next to me as I turned my head. I put my car in park, and I remember sitting back and taking a breath for a few seconds because I was very tired and very exhausted, and started looking around for the numbers and not being able to see them. And my lights on my car seemed so bright. They seemed really, really bright of where I was sitting because it was so dark out. And then looking over to my right and looking at the house and seeing the bluish white house and the light shining so bright, and looking up and at the windows. And as I'm looking at the windows, I see movement in the top left hand, and there's a girl up there with her hair just hanging down. It's not put up in a ponytail. It's kind of snarly. It's not done up. It's almost like pajamas or just end of the day wear, just kind of hanging out in the window. And her head kind of tilted and kind of looking around, and it seemed odd. And I remember leaning forward in my car and up to the steering wheel to look to see her better, and when she realized I was looking at her, she jumped down very quickly and kind of disappeared, and I was like, okay, that was strange. Waited a moment and looking around still to find the numbers. realizing that that must not have been it because the girl didn't come down and I didn't see numbers. I'm trying to remember what number the apartment buildings were. Looking again at my phone to see if there was an apartment complex unit. And seeing again there wasn't. Telling Nike to stay. He was sleeping in his, I keep a dog bed in the passenger seat that hooks into. I'll take a leash and I tie it around the passenger side because if I have to slam on my brakes too hard on the car, then Nike goes flying. And he's not happy when he goes flying into the floor, so he stays in his little bed and stays warm. I told him to stay. He couldn't come out this time to this delivery because I didn't know where I was going. And I left the food and I left the car running. I didn't turn it off because I wanted the headlights to stay on. I wanted the extra light to see as I was walking around. And I remember getting out of the car, it was cold, closing the car door and locking and realizing it looked like garbage all over the road. As I'm walking up the road, I'm looking at my map on my phone, and then seeing what looked like dirty underwear in the road, which I remember shaking my head and thinking, geez, I'm on campus. And I kept walking and turning my flashlight on and looking and thinking that's got to be the house. Looking up at the window again, the girl's still not there. She didn't come down. I can't be right. Walking up to the other apartments and seeing that the number isn't correct. So I start kind of walking up, looking at my map. It's telling me to walk up that road. I kind of walk up there. And I'm looking with my flashlight and I'm seeing that there's a little courtyard in between the bushes, but I'm not seeing a pathway, a walkway, or anything to get through. No movement in the house, no movement outside, nobody talking. It was noisy down at the street by the car, but not up there. It's quiet, it's dark. I'm getting really nervous because it's dark and it's quiet. And my map is just still telling me to keep walking up there, and I see that there's a road, but I'm not sure if it's the parking lot or there's an actual road that goes up and around. And so I turn around and I start walking back down to my car because I'm going to get in my car and drive up it because I don't want to end up walking blocks and blocks away from my car again in the dark. And it's cold and I'm flashing my flashlight and I'm trying to walk and I'm trying to look and I'm not seeing anything. And I get back down my car and I look back up and the girl's up in the window again. And she's just sitting there looking out the window again. The only thing you can really see in the window is her. And again, she makes eye contact with me and she disappears again. She jumps down. She's gone. I'm like, okay. So I keep walking down to my car and I'm looking for numbers. And the noises are starting to come, the college kids and the radios and the music. I can't make them out. Any noises. Still looking around for numbers. I finally get in my car, grab the door, get in, put my phone up on the stand, which takes forever because it's new. The pop socket doesn't want to fit into the stupid thing. I finally get it all situated up there, and I take my car and I put it in drive. And I remember kind of racing up there because I was trying to hurry, but then slowing down because I was trying to look at the same time to where my phone was telling me to turn and walk. And my car went vroom up the hill very quickly. And then realizing that I was at a dead end and I needed to find a place to park the car. I can tell Nike it was okay because he was starting to make noises. He wanted to get out and go with me, but I didn't want to carry him around. It was cold, and I knew he was going to be cold. And I got the car parked. It was dark. It was really dark. I'm trying to get my flashlight on, and I was carrying the food this time, just in case. Shh, Nike, you're okay. It's okay. I'm walking down the hill. You're okay. I'm walking down the hill, and it's so dark, and looking through in between the bushes and seeing the light and the glow from in between and going out to the courtyard. That would actually be kind of a cool place to live. And things being open. I remember glass doors open, I think. And it just seemed warm and inviting, but I didn't feel comfortable walking through the bushes. And all of a sudden I hear a car coming up from behind me, from my right. I hear the car slow. And I turn to my side to look at it because I know I don't want to get hit. There's not a lot of room. And it's at night. I'm with a flashlight. I'm expecting somebody to be sitting there gawking at me, wondering what the heck I'm doing, because that's kind of crazy. And turning around, and it's a tan-like colored car driving by me. It's not going fast. It's not going particularly slow. The dash light is on. It's very easy to see inside. But he's very into what he's doing. He doesn't look at me, and he seems very just not paying attention to anything else going on. But the light's on in the car for some reason, and it's very light inside the car. I don't see anything, bags or anything in the seats. I remember seeing the seats, and nothing like a bag or anything hanging around. He had a light colored dress shirt on, short hair, almost pokey. I don't want to say spiky, pokey hair, and a beard that was not a long beard, a very short, like just. Not that he hasn't shaved in a couple of days, but it's been a while. But not like he was, I don't know, purposely or not. But older, not a college student. Didn't seem like he should have been right there. And the fact that he didn't even look at me was very strange. And walking down, I got to the end of the house and the bushes, and still I couldn't see a path. I wasn't missing anything. I didn't miss a pathway. Maybe the road goes up and around the other side. I can kind of see up there that it looks like there might be a parkway on the other side of the house. Maybe that's it. But I'm missing. And turning back around and walking up the hill really fast. And trying to be fast because it's dark and I've been taking too long. I've been there way too long, and I'm cold, and Nike's getting antsy, and the food's getting cold, and it's so dark and so quiet. And getting in the car, I'm feeling very uncomfortable. I'm feeling better when I got in the car. It was warmer. I'm putting Nike on my lap because I'm uncomfortable. And getting pulled out without trying to hit anything, and speeding down the hill rather fast because I was very uncomfortable and I didn't like where I was. I come down the hill, and I decided to pull in. I pulled in very fast, getting frustrated, knowing I have other calls. I remember hearing the gravel clicking, and I did not see the girl in the window this time. When I pulled into the drive, she wasn't up there. And I turned to the side, and all of a sudden I can see the numbers. There they are. There's the numbers through the light. Now I can see them now that I'm on the side. And I threw the car and parked very quickly. And I think I had Nike in my hand when I grabbed the food because I didn't want to let go of him. And I got out of the car, and I grabbed my phone. I didn't turn it off. I didn't even shut the car door. and ran up to the door and put the food down, making sure that the door wouldn't hit the food if it was to open outwards, and taking the picture, trying to get the program to work. Got the picture, confirmed the delivery, got back in my car. I'm gonna pick my phone back up on the thing, still holding on to my key and throwing the car in reverse and getting out of there very quickly. Because I didn't want to be there anymore. I wanted to hurry up and get going. I had been there so long, I wasn't supposed to be there any longer. And just kind of taking off really fast.
That was great. Thank you very much. You want to take a drink, take a break for a second? Just okay. That was great. That was a ton of detail with some new things in there too that helped you kind of pull out, which was great. Can I ask you a couple questions about some of this stuff? What you said when you pulled in and you parked by the dumpster, you left your lights on so you could see. Can you explain to us a little bit about exactly where the car was and what the headlights
illuminated? The car was right here. The dumpster is right there, right at the very opening of the drive.
Dumpster right next to the drive.
Yes. Okay. I was shining so I could see the numbers on this apartment here, the apartment complex. The numbers are right there on the corner. I think it's like 800 or something ridiculous, but
okay.
It's a 100 number with 2 zeros. I can't remember the first one, but
okay. I think you had said before, was there a time that you walked this way?
I didn't walk that way, just this way. My car, I drove, when I came down in the car, I drove that way.
I see.
And that's where I parked my car, right there when I saw the numbers. That was right at the right angle where I could see the numbers away from the light.
Okay, so
and that's when I realized that that was the house that I was supposed to be at. So I slammed it in the park, and that's when I jumped out.
Okay, so the car, just for Brett, is on the right side of the house?
It's over here.
It's on the right corner.
Okay. And there were cars parked in there.
Okay. Can you, if you close your eyes, remember anything about how many cars, what kind of cars, what color cars, anything about those cars?
I want to say that all I remember, I want to say maybe 3 cars. A dark sedan car is the only one I can remember that was actually parked in there.
Okay.
For some reason, I didn't pay a lot of attention to the cars that were in there.
Okay.
Just because nothing was moving, nothing was going on.
Okay.
And I was just trying to get my car in and out of there and get out of there at that point because I felt uncomfortable being on that side of the house.
Okay. I think you said too, and correct me if I'm wrong, that while you were up here and you looked down in here, it looked warm and inviting. And I think you said something about it being open.
I think the doors I don't know if they were open, but I would have thought it almost seemed like there was glass doors open back there, but I don't know if they actually were, or if it was just clean glass doors.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, what made you think that they were open?
Just because I couldn't see through.
Okay.
Or I could see through, sorry. I could see through, sorry. So I wasn't sure if it was glass doors. It was just a glowing, the yellow, orangish glowing light coming through. It wasn't exactly up here. Up here it was very dark. Really hard to see. It was more down here towards, as I was looking through the bushes, where it was telling me to go through into the courtyard.
Okay. So you noticed it down kind of closer to the house. Or closer to the house. Okay.
Because I didn't walk past, when I was walking down, I didn't walk past this part when I was walking down. It was just, once I got to that point, it was like, okay, I've already made it past the house, and that's when I came back up.
When you, and just so I'm clear too, I know you told Brett this already, but which direction were you traveling, and which direction was that car traveling?
I was walking down, and the car was coming down.
Also coming down the same direction?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know where it came from.
Okay. When it passed you, you said as it's passing you, you looked over your right shoulder.
Yes, I was walking down the hill.
Okay. As it passed you, do you remember seeing the back side of it at all?
No.
Did you watch it as it went past you?
I remember it going down the hill, but then I just turned and kept doing what I was doing because I didn't see which way it turned.
Okay. And then if you remember, when was the first time you saw another vehicle when you were leaving, after you dropped the food?
Another vehicle.
At any point, even if it's, way out on the street, do you ever remember encountering another car in front of you, behind you, passing,
Not that I remember. It was pretty dead out. Things were starting to calm down.
Okay.
But there was still a lot of noise and music coming from somewhere. I thought it was coming from these apartments here, and then from this one here. But I remember walking kind of down here and seeing these guys' lights were all still on, and there was lots of noise coming from that area.
Okay, so this is, I'm not sure, is this a house or an apartment?
I think this is an apartment. It looked like it's kind of strange, like the apartment's only upstairs.
Okay.
It's weird looking.
Okay. But you said those lights were on?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That was really great. I'd like to do one other similar kind of thing, just to see if we can kind of pull something else out. So if this, let's use this building here. So these are apartments here, right? So what I'd like you to do is imagine you're in one of these windows here on the end.
Okay.
And you're looking out. Okay? But you're not you, because you're down here doing everything that you did that night. But if it's me up in this window here, and I'm looking out from the time you pull in, same thing, from the time you pull in to the time you pull back out. From up here, what am I seeing? What can I see from right here?
From right there, up here.
Yep, from right in here.
Probably my headlights as I pull up. Once I get to walking up here, you'll be able to see that. And me looking around and looking over here, you won't be able to see me walking over there. It'd be like there. And then me turning around and coming back down here to my car and looking at the other house numbers. And then you would see my car come up, which is silver Subaru, very fast, coming up and trying to find a parking spot. And I think honestly, I parked like right there. It was so dark, but it was right there. And then I got out of my car and came walking down with my camera, my flashlight on my phone. I'm saying flashlight, I mean the flashlight on my phone.
Okay.
And looking at the map and trying to reset the map because it keeps saying you are here and I'm not there yet and I haven't found it and it's getting annoying. And walking and peeking through the bushes, and I'm actually thinking about people watching me, wondering what I'm doing. And then the car come driving down here and pass by me as I turn and look at him. And then as I got down to about here, would have seen me stop and kind of peer through, kind of take a step there, down, but go no, and turn around, a step off the road. It's kind of a little bit of a drop there, and I was like, no. And looking, but seeing him at the end of the house, and then coming back up very quickly, and coming right back up to the car, and then driving down very fast. And then probably hearing my tires turn and the gravel spitter as I turn in there. But I don't know that you would be able to see me actually get out of the car.
Okay.
And go to the door from there because of those bushes and the trees and everything that's there.
Okay. That was great. Thank you very much for that. Brett, did any of that, were there any additional questions?
No, you did a fantastic job. Yeah, truly, you did great.
After kind of going through all of that, is there anything else that sticks in your mind or that got jogged, that maybe is bubbling its way up about the 15 minutes or so that you spent in that neighborhood, or even on your way in or out of the neighborhood, if there was anything that
Just remembering that was a really weird delivery. I was there forever. His hair could have been like a blondish red,
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it was hard with the glow of the light. That's the only other thing I can think of that when I was picturing it, that could be, it may not have been just blonde, it may have been a blonde, like strawberry blonde, but yeah, tan car sedan.
And you mentioned that he had a light colored dress shirt on.
Yeah,
When
a
you
dress
say a
shirt.
dress shirt, can you
A
describe
collar,
that?
a collar, but not shirt.
Okay. Okay.
No coat over the top or a hoodie like you would see on a college student.
Okay.
You know, or a sweater and a dress shirt.
And it seems like you described being able to see pretty clearly on the inside of the car. Is that?
Yeah, I remember the inside of the car being lit up.
Okay.
Like he had the dome light on, which seems odd to me, but I don't know. But he wasn't looking around or anything. He was just straight.
Okay. Did it seem like there were any tints in the windows?
No,
Or just clear?
I could see right through.
Okay.
I could see him so well.
Okay.
That's why it's been just bugging me, because I could see him so well.
Okay. You talked about light colored interior of the car.
Yes.
Can you see anything about the color besides that it's light? Okay.
Just like, I don't remember any bags or clutter or anything laying around or anything on the dash that didn't already belong there. You know, anything sticking out.
Do you?
I think I'm clean and very nitpicked.
Okay. What about the color of the dash lights? That there's a glow from the dash. Can you recall any?
Not much of a glow because of the dash light, the dome light being on. So not much that I saw there. It just was very bright in there. And it being so dark. I mean, I think there might be some light coming from in between there, coming through the windows just right when I was perfect timing. That could have been it too, instead of the dash light or the interior light being on, but it seemed very bright in there when I think about it. When I picture it.
When you picture the gentleman sitting in the car, and you're looking at him side profile,
Yes.
right? Did anything stand out to you about his facial features? No. Okay.
Can you recall his hairline?
Not anything that was, it wasn't like it was balding or anything like that. It seemed just a normal. He wasn't wearing a hat or anything like that. You could see his hair, like it was very spiky, almost spiky hair. It was short.
So spiky, short. Can you describe that for me as a little bit more?
Not like slick back or anything like that. Just like spiky, short. Not like buzz cut, but longer than that. A buzz cut.
Okay. Okay. Just if I remember correctly, you said this was not your first delivery to this neighborhood?
No, it was not. I had two other ones up here.
Okay. And there was one more after it, or no?
No.
No. Okay.
That was actually, I had more deliveries in Pullman.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually did that one last one, and then called me. He's like, you need to come home. This is ridiculous. You've been gone forever. Why aren't you home yet?
Okay.
You've been at this for like 18 hours. Why did you get home?
Do you remember what times those two earlier deliveries were?
They were directly before.
Okay.
I mean, I was dashing in Pullman, and they sent me to deliver to the crazy name delivery with all the, right there, and a gentleman here. And that was the first one, and then I got sent right back to Jack in the Box again.
Okay.
And I think I did a double drop off of Pullman,
Okay.
and then right back there again for the second delivery to be dropped off in the center there,
Okay.
and then right back to Pullman again.
Okay.
And I did one drop off in Pullman and one drop off to them.
I see. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah,
that, 'cause
I get a lot of double drop offs.
Okay.
Most dashers don't, but I get a lot of double offs.
It's good for you, right?
Yeah. A lot of people got a lot of complaints on them because they're not fast enough, but
Okay.
I end up with a lot of them. I'm not sure why, but
So when you came through this area on those two earlier deliveries, what was the I don't want to say the traffic like, but what was were there people out? Were there
there were
vehicles out?
people
What
out.
was-
There were vehicles. There were lots of vehicles out, parked on the sides, and lots of noise and typical college party night. It seemed like all of the apartments were somebody was out partying.
Okay.
Until you get up to here. I don't know if you've been there or not.
Yeah.
There's no lights,
Yeah.
street lights or anything once you get it up there. And so I was trying to drive around up there, and it also, the weather was not great, I remember. And so trying to see, especially up here and where I was going, I ended up driving on the walkway in the center of the apartments because I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to be driving on them. And him on my phone griping at me like ETA, and I'm like, and so then I had to go in reverse out of the center of the courtyard
Okay.
and driving back, and he came out of his apartment with the purple door.
Okay. And you say, so you went straight back to Dyatlov Pass and straight back. How long do you think that trip takes?
On that night, it doesn't take very long, maybe 10 minutes or so. I could probably check on my phone on my maps and see, but
Okay.
it's not a long drive when the weather's not bad. Even at night, the dark, when I do it so often, I know the road pretty well. And I wasn't taking Airport Road at all that night. It was on Main Highway and back and forth between Jack in the Box. I would take not airport, the back Airport Road, but as soon as you get to the light on the Pullman side, and then go that way to Jack in the Box up through campus and around. So it's fairly quick, especially because nobody's out. It's just Ashers. We're all running back and forth trying to not get, sorry, but busted for speeding.
I got busted for speeding the other morning, so on my way here.
And, trying to make sure we're not getting in trouble, especially at the end of the month. It seems like at the end of the month, they're all watching our routes between Jack in the Box and McDonald's and Taco Bell over there in Pullman. That's the Stadium Way strip right there.
Yeah.
They're right there watching us pretty closely.
When you, on those first 2 trips out to this neighborhood, do you recall seeing any other vehicles out?
Not anything that stood out. There were kids walking around and lots of noise and but not anything. It was so late. I didn't expect to see a lot of cars out.
Okay.
So
if you had seen any cars on the road at all, not parked, but cars
I'm
moving at that time?
I want to say maybe 1 or 2 passing by me, but nothing that stood out and not a lot of traffic. It was very quickly up and out and not a lot of having to wait at stop signs or waiting for traffic to move.
Okay.
Especially being up here, because there's not a lot of, unless you live up here, you know what you're doing up there, you're not usually over on that side. Where down here, there's more people moving around and active, because it's a main road. A lot of people who go to Winco, because Winco is open all night, and if they live on the side of town, they will go that way to get through town because it's faster and it's easier than going through downtown and Main Street and everything to get through at night. So it's a main road.
Anything else that you can think of at all?
Not anything that's coming to mind.
Anything else about that vehicle when you close your eyes and think about it? Any decals or stickers?
I can't even remember if it was a Washington or an Idaho plate. I've been racking my brain. But I don't remember any stickers or anything sticking out or standing out on it.
What about the wheels? Anything about the wheels? You recall seeing the wheels at all?
I didn't even look at the wheels because I was looking at the top part. I don't even remember clicking for the like if it had studs on.
Okay.
I don't remember studs clicking. I remember the gravel clicking, but not like stud clicking.
Okay.
If that.
Absolutely.
Those studs are pretty loud.
Yeah.
You can hear them about a mile away.
Brett, anything more? Okay, so the only other thing I have for you is, how are you doing? I know that I said this has been a rough couple of days for you. I hope this conversation wasn't...
No, it was fine.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We certainly understand that this is a tough process, and particularly considering the things you've been through in the last
Well, like I told
10
him, I
years.
want to help. I want to help make because and I can't believe I was there at that exact time. My luck.
We very much appreciate your willingness to help, your willingness to come in tonight. I know it was probably a lot just hearing the calls from the PD when we initially tried to get a hold of you, so we get that completely. Who's in talking to now, she's going to stay in contact with you, she'll check in on you if you need anything. She'll probably have some suggestions of things that may help.
He just wouldn't let me call anybody back. Like I told him, my first message I got from my voicemail, I just got a new phone. My voicemail wasn't even hooked up. All I was getting was your text messages. And I was actually sitting in my dad's truck, my tire had just blown. I just bought brand new tires, I was trying to sign on to work, and my tire blew on the highway, and my dad had just picked me up. I had a Schwab dealing with that. My car was out of alignment, so 2 weeks of driving around on brand new tires, the tire completely worn all the way like this and blew on the highway both sides of the front. So another $400 after the initial $800. So that's what I've been doing. He's like, I will call him, I'll call him. I'm like, then you need to call him because he keeps texting me. And I'm trying to deal with this, and if you're going to call him, you need to call him because he's still texting me. And you know, I don't know if he can't get through. And then I realized that the voicemail wasn't set up, and then I had the app set up so no phone calls were getting through, and I was like, he's trying to get through, and he can't get through, and he's texting, and he's probably sitting there wondering if I even know if it's real or not, because I need to text it from a police officer, so if you're going to call.
Well, we very much appreciate that. It is certainly possible we may reach out to you again. Is that okay?
Please do, yes.
Okay. And the number we used, is that the right number?
Me or
And
Jane.
is it easier with the voicemail situation? Should we call? Should we text?
Texting was better. I have a hard time talking on the phone.
Okay.
I don't know why. It triggers me.
Absolutely.
I tend to sit there and just stare at it ringing. I can't answer it.
Okay.
That's why I have speech to text voicemail too, because I can't listen to them.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay.
It triggers the anxiety for some reason. It's not like I got a weird phone call saying my husband was dead or something, or I was there every time something happened. So
Anxiety's weird like that.
yeah, I think it's just not knowing
Sure.
what's on the other line.
Okay.
Other side is what makes it hard. So yeah, the texting works best. Or you can answer it.
Okay.
He answers the phone calls
That's
for me
certainly
too.
fine.
So.
Now let me ask you this too. I know it's seems like you do DoorDash at night.
Yes.
So when do you sleep?
During the day,
Okay.
in the morning usually.
Okay.
I'm more of a, early mornings, it's usually I'm unconscious
Okay.
and I'm out cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will certainly try and reach out to you. When's the best afternoon?
Yeah, afternoons, evenings, yeah.
We can certainly work around that. As I said, the likelihood is we probably will reach out to you
Yes,
again.
please do, please. I want to help.
I'm going to keep in touch with you as well, so we may just go through too.
Okay.
We can kind of figure that out. If you have a preference, if you'd rather.
It doesn't matter. It's just anything I can do, I'll come back.
Okay. That's
And
great.
if I think of anything, I will let you guys know.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things we always tell people, I know it's been a few days now at this point already, but you're going to keep thinking about it.
Yeah,
and
it keeps
it's not
replaying.
helpful for your anxiety. I fully understand, but it's just one of those things that's
It's
going to
gonna
happen.
Yeah.
If you think of anything else, if anything else comes to mind, reach out. We'll give you, Brett will give you a business card, and you'll have Tamara's information as well. You can reach Tamara, you can reach Brett.
Of course.
But anytime, day or night, just call
Okay.
or text. If you want to text and say, hey, I thought of something, that's fine. It's probably easier to do that than to actually text the information to
Yeah.
us, if that's okay with
Yeah,
you.
that's fine.
Okay. It may be something, if you don't mind, if you know it's us calling and you're expecting that call, if that's okay to have a conversation, just so you don't have to come in.
Yeah,
you don't
it just
have to.
depends with the phone call thing.
Okay.
I wish there was a rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes I can answer that phone and I have no problem.
That's fine.
And I'm the boss.
Yep.
Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, and I can't do it.
That's totally understandable.
And so, yeah. But, yeah.
Can I ask if there's anything that you do to kind of help that anxiety? Do you have any
I've
resources for
been
that?
trying as much as I can to do things, but it's been hard.
All right, thank you very much for watching. I hope you got something out of the interview. I'm still getting other information and have received other videos. I'll be putting those out as well. But thank you again for watching, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.